Can you remember a year ago when Germany opened its borders? I recall quite clearly the moment when a lot of people opened their hearts and welcomed others who were in need. The entire world looked towards Germany, amazed. But since then, a lot has happened, and the mood has changed. We want to find out how the refugees are doing today. What hopes did they bring with them, and what memories, what experiences? We'll meet artists, filmmakers, and photographers from Syria and ask them, have they truly arrived? And how does that feel? Have you arrived?
I feel at home in Berlin.
When I go out, I have to think of all the people in Syria who can't enjoy their lives.
I'll tell you something. If you're Syrian, lesbian, and a refugee, it's not easy. I wanted for nothing, but I miss everything.
Today I'm meeting Salma Jreige, a young Syrian woman who studied law in Damascus. Now she's living in Berlin. She's very active. She works as a museum guide and teaches other refugees about German history. She also works part-time in a Syrian restaurant. Would you wait on tables in Syria?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
In Syrian society, young women don't usually work as waitresses.
What did your father say when you told him you were a waitress?
At first, he wasn't happy, but I explained that it's just a job and I like to work.
Can I help you? Wash something?
Sure, you can rinse some things. Would you wait tables in Lebanon?
Good question. I think I would.
I want you by my side, so that I never feel alone again. They've always been so kind, but now they've brought you away from me.
How come you speak such good German?
I learned German in Berlin, but that didn't help that much.
What did?
Apartment hunting. Yes, even though my German wasn't good, I had to find a flat and fill out all the forms in German.
Do you have a favorite German word? One you really love?
Yes, Mitgefühl.
Mitgefühl? Empathy. Have you experienced empathy here? Is that the reason?
I've experienced a lot of empathy in Germany. Sometimes I felt lonely, and I realized I was in a different country.
What did you do then?
I got a tattoo of Mitgefühl.
Mitgefühl, in what language? Or is it a symbol?
A symbol.
You work here, but you've also got a job at Multaka. What's that?
We give refugees tours in Arabic through the German museum.
The German History Museum. Is it fun?
A lot of fun. If you learn about German history, you see that Germans went through wars and had many refugees themselves. Refugees then feel less alien. Here we see that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. The Nazi regime was responsible.
You've given lots of tours. Is there one particular moment that stuck with you that really made an impression?
I had a really intense discussion with a couple of people.
About what?
About the Holocaust. They thought the Holocaust was a lie, or that there were fewer victims or something. When I explained the facts to them, I could see their opinion change. I'll never forget it. It's the reason I give tours.
Here's another German word, Einheit, unity. The old border was open, and East and West Germany became today's United Germany. A year ago, borders were opened so that refugees could come to Germany. What was that moment like for you?
I was happy and very satisfied that people could continue their lives.
And now, what's your feeling today? Is Germany still welcoming?
Yes, of course. I think the Germans never thought 1 million refugees would come to their country.
I
think that was a bit much.
And how is it for you? What has changed?
Now, when I say I'm from Syria, they say, "Oh, you too."
As in another Syrian refugee. And at the start it was different.
No, 2 years ago it was entirely different.
Does that hurt?
No, I understand a lot of people are afraid. There's no reason to be afraid, but that's how it is.
Nicht begründet?
Ja, nicht begründet, aber das ist einfach so.
You have yet another job here. Where?
A German school for female refugees from Iraq and Syria.
Okay, und du unterstützt sie bei?
I'm a teaching assistant. The women know no English or German. They need support and translations.
Wow, you're quite a woman.
Nein.
ليه ما في ثوري؟
ما بحب هالشغلات يعني ما بحبه جوزي يعني.
Sie will nicht, dass ihr Gesicht
Her husband doesn't want her on camera.
verbietet ihr das und sie sagt, sie macht das, was will.
I said she could rebel a bit, but she refused.
Ich habe gesagt, sie soll einfach ein bisschen rebellieren und sagen, nee, ich will gefilmt werden. Und dann meinte sie, nein,
She said Arab traditions are different.
Und ich bin noch
She said she hasn't yet arrived here completely and integrated.
integriert.
Ghazali says her husband forbids her.
My husband used to say I couldn't be filmed, but not anymore.
What's changed?
I don't know. In Syria, he was against it. Here, he's not. In Syria, I kept silent. Now I say what I think.
And what does your husband say?
That I've changed and become German. I think it's wrong for a woman to derive her strength from the laws of a foreign country. I see things differently. What can you do if the law in your country allows your husband to divorce you whenever he wants, and to beat you, and to marry multiple women?
Was Salma hier schafft, schaffen viele Integrationsbeauftragte.
Salma is doing something that not many integration workers succeed at, in my opinion. She's talking openly and honestly about topics like equality, the role of women, and women's rights. That's great.
Es ist super. You went your own way, and now you're here. Is it weird to be a refugee sometimes?
No, it's never weird to be a refugee. I think the term is wrong. A refugee is not all I am. I don't act or behave as a refugee. I don't think that. People are all individuals with individual personalities. People aren't refugees or non-refugees. That's what I think.
Das finde ich.
We're here at the initial reception facility in the Spandau district of Berlin. Until a year ago, a filmmaker from Damascus lived here. Ammar Al-Beik was once invited to the Venice Film Festival. He went from the red carpet to a refugee home, and he spent his first night in Germany here. How was your first night? Did you go, uh-oh?
It was the first time I was in a refugee camp, so the first night was really tough. You ask yourself, why am I here? I'm here because I can't be in my country. Why did I leave my country? Very simply, I could no longer live there because of my belief that people in Syria should have more freedom and a better life. I hid my hard drive here. It was a shame I had to. I don't like mistrustfulness. But that's how it was. Things happen. My neighbors had things stolen. The film I made here, all the material I shot, was my salvation, my true escape. When the barber is finished, there's a moment of love between the father and the son. The father kisses his son. The barber is happy, and I'm happy I documented this scene. Moments like this make me love this place.
So today, I wrote a song for you, 'cause a day can get so long. And I know it's hard to make it through when you say there's something wrong.
I lived here for 8 months. I've lived here for 5 months.
Why Berlin?
Berlin is a film city. Wim Wenders, Fassbender.
Did you watch German films in Syria?
Sure, but I didn't understand them until I came here. I really like Fassbender and Wenders, especially now that I live in their country. It's great to go to the cinema and watch German films. Even if I don't understand a lot, it's a bridge between me and the German language.
And this is
my cinematic kitchen. I edit film here, cook there, and sleep up there.
Do you live from film?
Yeah, I live from my work. For 2 months, I've officially been a freelance artist and filmmaker. I pay taxes. I like paying taxes.
Why?
It's nice to pay taxes. I earn money and can give something back to the state that helped me for a year and a half.
You have an exhibit here?
Ja, bin mal gespannt.
I can't get the scene out of my head in which the child hears a missile and knows it's a Scud. What were you trying to say with that scene?
I think for 5 or 6 years, all children in Syria have heard the sounds of these missiles. It's the worst sound for a child.
Do you think your film would be shown here if you weren't a Syrian refugee?
If we're honest, Syrian refugees are getting a lot of attention right now. Personally, I believe in what I do. I made films before I was a refugee. I've been a refugee in Germany for 2 years, but I've made films since 1997. I make films to show how I see the world, how I see life.
I'm meeting up with the artist and author Kefah Ali Deeb. She's very well known in Syria and very politically active. She had to flee Syria overnight, but if she had her way, she'd return. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
You were a political activist, and it's dangerous for you in your home country, and yet you want to return to Syria as soon as possible. Why?
Because we have a responsibility to return and rebuild Syria. We decided to start a revolution, and now the country and its infrastructure are destroyed. We fled, but we still feel responsible for rebuilding the country.
Now, as a refugee compared to before in Syria, do you feel powerless?
No, I work. I'm productive.
Nevertheless, things bother you.
Of course things bother me.
Like what?
Prejudice against refugees, for instance.
How does that affect you?
I always have to defend myself and other refugees.
When you open the door and come in here, do you feel at home?
Yes, although when I compare this to my apartment in Damascus, not at all.
An empty chair, an empty chair, an empty chair, another empty chair. Why all the empty chairs?
I started painting empty chairs in 2012 as my final project for my art degree in Damascus. Then the revolution started. I was at the demonstrations. Back then, I thought, people cling to the seats of power and make our lives difficult.
Are you waiting for someone to sit down?
It's for all the people who were there, whom war took away, and for those who are in prison.
Is there someone close to you who's in prison or who's disappeared?
I don't want to talk about it. Don't ask.
Did they torture you in prison?
No, but I know many people who died after being tortured. I heard prisoners being tortured to death. And then they yelled, "Come, get him, he's dead."
We're at Tempelhof now. You're reading from your children's book.
Yes, this is a nice occasion. For a long time, I've wanted to come here and read something to the children.
What have you heard about the refugee camp here in Tempelhof? When it opened, there were problems. Not enough space.
I think things are still bad. There's no privacy for the refugees.
He's a Shama.
Shama is very small and delicate. Her grandfather loves her a lot. He gave her a lamb before she went to school.
The story is about Shama and her grandfather. Is he like your grandfather?
My grandfather gave me a bike.
Is he still alive?
Yes.
And where does he live?
In Syria.
Do you miss him?
Yes.
What do you miss most?
Working in the garden with him.
And what do you like best about life here?
The bikes.
Okay. And you? What do you like best?
Apples.
And you?
School.
Everyone who applies for asylum here in Germany has to take a language course, including Hayyan. Hayyan, do you understand me in German?
Yes.
And how hard was it at the start? Do you even want to learn German grammar? You came from a war zone and suddenly you're learning a foreign language.
It was difficult at first.
And now, it's better?
Yes. Yesterday, we looked at the photos on pages 8 and 9. What's in picture B? Hayyan, please continue. A man and 2 kids. What do you see in picture E?
Me? Picture E. Can you help me? A computer?
Vielleicht Sie suchen in Google. Deutsch.
Hayyan, do you use any of this?
Sure, I live with a German family.
Bei deutsche Familie.
You live here?
Yes, that's the Vatican Embassy.
But you live here?
Yes, I live here.
Is religion important to you?
Yes.
Do you pray and fast?
Yes.
If you go out with your friends, you drink alcohol, a beer maybe?
No.
Das hier?
Ja.
Zu aufgeräumt.
Aber nicht immer.
Tell me about these photos. What are they?
That's the Euphrates, where we always went swimming. Later, the Assad regime blocked off the river and we couldn't go there anymore. It was full of snipers. ISIS had just taken over the city, and we knew we'd have to flee. We went to this place one last time. We already thought maybe we'll never see the Euphrates again. There was a sniper there. He was very dangerous and wanted to shoot the man.
قال بدي اواجهه يعني فنبهوه الكل انه يقظ جدا هذا القناص فاول شفت ما
قوسوا؟
اي قوسوا بكتفه.
Yes, as he ran away.
شوي يعني اول ما طلع بس كتفه.
Why did you film this?
واجب.
It was my job to capture the reality in the place where I live. A lot of people die doing their jobs.
كثير أشخاص ماتوا مشان يؤدوا واجبهم.
And why did you come to Germany?
لأنه صلت لحقيقة.
Because I thought I'd die in Deir without achieving anything.
إنه راح أموت أنا بدون مقابل يعني بدون ما أعمل شيء.
Who wanted to kill you?
The city was bombed. IS surrounded Deir and threatened anyone who took film footage.
اشتغل بالتوثيق واشتغل بالتصوير هو مطلوب رقم واحد يعني
من داعش.
من داعش.
Did you see people get killed?
Yes, and I can't describe the feeling. You're running next to someone and talking to him, and then all of a sudden you can't hear him, and you realize he's been shot right next to you.
Did it change you? Is your life different?
I feel guilty for leaving people behind in Syria.
What are we cooking?
Tabbouleh. Tabbouleh? Okay.
When Hayyan told me he was living with you, my first question was, why are you doing this?
Yes, I met Hayyan at a birthday party. I heard that he was living in a village near Hamburg and didn't feel at home there at all. And I thought, I have a big apartment, I have room, he can stay with us.
You're single or you have a girlfriend now?
لا أنا ما عندي girlfriend.
ما عندك؟ Und suchst du?
Are you looking for one?
Willst du?
I'm looking for a woman to marry.
للزواج يعني مو للصداقة.
Hat ja gerade gesagt, würde eher.
He just said that he'd like to marry, but wouldn't have a premarital relationship.
We always said first a relationship.
Hayyan, come here, it's getting interesting.
Ja, aber setz dich mal hin.
I always said, first you have to get to know the woman. You can't just marry.
So, das kann ich mal. Ihr versteht euch super gut.
You all get along really well, which is good to see. But there's the other side. For example, what happened in Cologne. Hayyan could be the stereotypical big bad Arab. How do you see things? Are you afraid?
Fear is like a cloud. You can never grab hold of it. You can grab hold of a person and get to know him and his culture. That's enriching. It's fantastic.
And why do you come to places like this? Out of boredom? Do you need company?
I want to meet people. That's the only way we get to know a society, through people. Not only through books at the school.
The mood in Germany has changed since last year. A lot of people are no longer very welcoming. Have you noticed that?
2 days ago, near where I live, I saw a bit of graffiti in Arabic that read, "All of you go home. We can't go home. That's the problem."
مرحبا كيفكن؟
I talk with a lot of refugees, and one word that keeps cropping up is dignity. Has your dignity been injured?
I was insulted much worse every day in Syria. I had a shisha cafe. Assad supporters and secret police used to just help themselves and never pay. In Germany, the state protects you. Not there.
Generally speaking, are you doing well here?
I can say we're in the right place. When I came to Germany, I was born again. It was a new beginning.
How did you flee?
A friend and I rowed across the sea, from Turkey to Greece, 16 of us in a boat with only 2 oars.
I feel
at home here more so than in Damascus, where I was always fighting with my parents.
هاي الحالة من الحرب محاربة كانت كمان يعني.
Some music?
صح.
Do drinking tea and music go together?
Mixing.
Girls don't cry for Louis wouldn't cry for you. He said you and I will burn this town.
You're a totally different person.
I know, Ma. Thank you.
Why are you so angry?
كل شيء يعني هو تقريبا كل شيء مريت
Because of what I've been through in my life.
بيستحق الغضب يعني إن كان الاضطهاد بالمجتمع لأني لزبيان ولا
Syrian society put me down because I'm lesbian.
الخوف اللي كنت عايشة تحت.
I was very afraid and had constant fights with my family as well. I'm angry because I'm a woman and no longer want to be put down by men.
امرأة وما برضى أني أكون مقموعة وتحت السيطرة الذكورية تبع هذاك المجتمع مثلا.
This reads, I don't care. And why is it written there?
I wrote that after a fight with my father. I cried for an hour and listened to the song I Don't Care by the famous Arab singer Fairuz. My father disowned me, but I don't care. I've left Syria for Germany. I saw several people die along the way. Why would I let my life here be destroyed from another continent?
Enana und Judith!
We only said goodbye in the woods. I died 100 times.
I think it's really cool that she can be who she wants to be. She's a very cool woman. It's great. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
With a doctorate in international law or human rights law.
Hopefully in 10 years I'll be back in Syria. The war will have ended, and I'll help rebuild the country. If I stay in Germany, I want to do a doctorate.
I don't know. Maybe on stage with a lot of people looking at me.
Maybe I'll be making a film in Aleppo, Spain, or Japan.
I hope in 10 years I'm back in Syria. But I know that my hopes are a long way from becoming reality.
After meeting Kefah, Salma, Enana, Hayyan, Ammar, I realized how much change they're going through. I was surprised and moved at how unsettling everything is. They took me on a voyage of discovery, and I think in the days to come, that will be the case for all of us who live in Germany.